Welcome, and thank you for joining today's audio tour at the Museum of Pores and Texture. Please adjust your headphones. We will be walking through a series of galleries, each one curated to reveal a different part of the blackhead story, not as a routine, not as a lecture, but as a guided exhibition where every artifact explains a cause, a misunderstanding, or a prevention principle. As we move from room to room, you'll notice something refreshing. Blackhead prevention becomes easier when you understand what you're actually looking at. So let's begin in the atrium, where the museum's central statement is engraved in stone. A blackhead is an outcome, not a character. In other words, blackheads do not appear because you are unclean or because your skin is morally flawed. They appear when a pore's internal and external environment favors plugging. That is the museum's theme. Environment creates outcomes. Now, please follow me into Gallery 1, the Hall of Misidentification. On the left, under soft lighting, you will see a large magnified image of a nose. It is covered in tiny dots. Next to it is a placard titled Sebaceous Filaments. These are normal structures, tiny channels in pores that help sebum travel to the surface. They refill quickly because they are part of normal function. Many people mistake these for blackheads and declare war on them. The placard explains the common result. War leads to overscrubbing, pore strips, suction devices, and repeated squeezing, which inflame the area and make pores look larger and darker. Across the room is a second display, true open comedones. These are more irregular, often darker, and persist longer. A third display shows post-inflammatory dots, where leftover pigment or discoloration looks like a pore plug but isn't. The museum's interactive station invites you to press buttons labeled Refills in 2 days, Persists for weeks, and looks dark but feels flat. Each choice lights up a different prevention message. The goal is not to obsessively diagnose every dot, but to stop treating normal pore signatures like a crisis. In this museum, the first prevention principle is clarity. You can't solve the wrong problem. Now, we enter Gallery 2, the tunnel exhibit. The room is shaped like a long cylinder, and inside it you can see a simulated pore tunnel. Along the walls, tiny cells are shedding, and you can watch oil flowing upward. This is the pore doing its job. The placard explains that plugging begins as a traffic issue inside the tunnel. A plug forms when shedding becomes stickier and flow becomes less smooth. The museum guide me points to a side panel showing what happens when the tunnel becomes irritated. The walls swell slightly. The shedding becomes uneven. The tunnel becomes a place where material clings. This is where prevention begins. Keep the tunnel calm. There's a small sign that reads, "The tunnel responds to handling." That means if you scrub the surface aggressively, you don't just affect the top. You send irritation signals down into the system, altering how the tunnel behaves. The exhibit features a dramatic button labeled Manual Extraction. When pressed, a mechanical device pulls a plug out. The crowd often cheers because it looks satisfying. But then the exhibit shows the aftermath. The tunnel wall becomes inflamed, and the next plug forms faster. The placard reads, "Short-term spectacle, long-term recurrence." The message is gentle but firm. If you want fewer repeat plugs, don't rely on repeated trauma. Now we move into Gallery 3, the friction wing. This wing is designed like a corridor lined with moving belts that lightly brush against the wall, representing masks, straps, collars, phones, and hands. The wall is painted with a delicate surface. Over time, the repeated brushing makes the surface look irritated. A sensor display shows rising inflammation signals. The placard explains that friction is often overlooked because it's not a product, but it can be a major trigger for recurring congestion in specific zones: chin, jawline, around the mouth, cheeks, and hairline. Visitors often assume these zones are more oily or more dirty. The exhibit shows the real story. Repeated contact changes the skin's behavior in that area. The interactive station lets you reduce friction by slowing the belt or moving it away. When you do, the inflammation signals drop and the simulated pore tunnels begin to shed more evenly. The exhibit's prevention principle is practical. If congestion clusters in contact zones, manage the contact. You cannot outscrub a friction belt that runs 8 hours a day. Now, Gallery 4, the Film and Residue Pavilion. This room is filled with transparent layers hanging from the ceiling like sheets of glass. Each sheet represents a daily film: sunscreen, makeup, sweat film, styling drift, environmental particles. When you stack many sheets, the room becomes dimmer and heavier, symbolizing how layers can accumulate. The placard says, "Films are not enemies, persistent films are." There is an interactive cleaning station with 2 tools: scrub brush and dissolve and lift. The scrub brush scratches the display surface. The dissolve and lift tool removes the sheets cleanly. The museum's message is that thoroughness should come from method, not force. If you remove films harshly, you damage the surface and create more stickiness over time. If you remove films effectively and gently, you clear the doorway without injuring it. A smaller placard reads, "The day's films must exit at night." This is a museum-friendly way of saying that prevention is often decided by nighttime cleanup reliability rather than daytime perfection. Now, Gallery 5, the Barrier Gallery. This room is quiet, with soft ambient audio. The walls are built from bricks and mortar, representing skin cells and lipids. A simulation shows what happens when the mortar is removed. The wall becomes leaky, and alarms flash. In the skin, those alarms are stinging, tightness, redness, and flaking. The placard explains that a compromised barrier tends to produce a more reactive environment. Reactive environments increase uneven shedding and can increase the tendency to plug. This gallery contains no flashy extraction devices, no dramatic masks. It contains the unglamorous truth. Stable comfort supports stable pore behavior. Visitors often ask, "But blackheads are oil. Why are we talking about barrier?" The museum answers with a simple diagram. Barrier damage increases inflammation. Inflammation alters shedding. Altered shedding increases plugs. It's a chain. The prevention principle here is protective. Don't destroy the wall to clean a single brick. Now, Gallery 6, the Mirror Chamber. This is a room of mirrors, each one slightly magnifying. The lighting is harsh. Most visitors feel uneasy. The placard reads, "Distortion increases intervention." When you stare under harsh conditions, you overestimate problems. Overestimation drives touching and squeezing. Touching and squeezing drive inflammation. Inflammation drives more texture. The museum has a single bench in the center with a sign. Sit here for 60 seconds and do nothing. It sounds silly, but it's a powerful lesson. Many people do not need more action. They need less interference. The prevention principle is behavioral. Reduce compulsive inspection, reduce manual interference, and you reduce the inflammation that makes pores look worse. Now, Gallery 7, the Travel Exhibit. This room changes humidity and temperature in cycles. It simulates dry airplane air, humid outdoor heat, cold air conditioning, and hard water. The placard explains that during travel and climate shifts, skin becomes more reactive and routines become inconsistent. People often respond by introducing new products or escalating intensity. The exhibit shows how escalation during instability increases irritation. The museum's prevention principle is stability. When the environment changes, keep your process simple and familiar. This is a museum way of saying, don't experiment when the system is stressed. Now, Gallery 8, the Fatigue and Stress Installation. The lights dim. A clock ticks faster. A soundscape of notifications plays softly. In this room, the exhibit shows how stress increases face touching, reduces nighttime cleanup consistency, and increases the temptation for quick fixes. The placard reads, "Most relapses happen on tired days." The interactive station offers 2 buttons, Skip Everything and Minimum Reset. If you press Skip Everything, the simulation shows residue accumulating and pores clogging over the next days. If you press minimum reset, the simulation stabilizes. The museum's prevention principle is crucial. Design a minimum, doable reset for exhausted nights, something you can execute even when motivation is low. The museum doesn't tell you to be perfect. It tells you to be consistent enough to prevent collapse. Now, Gallery 9, the Expectations exhibit. Here you see portraits of faces under different lighting. Natural light, bathroom, spotlight, camera flash. The same face looks different in each portrait. The placard says, "Lighting changes perception." Another placard says, "Pores are anatomy." The exhibit teaches visitors to redefine success. Not porelessness, but reduced plugging frequency, reduced raised texture, lower contrast in openings, and calmer skin tone. This prevents overtreatment driven by unrealistic targets. The museum's prevention principle is realism. The goal is a functional, calm system, not an airbrushed fantasy. Now, we conclude in the museum shop not to sell you anything, but to send you out with a simple souvenir concept you can carry. The souvenir is a small card printed with 3 questions. Question 1. Did I increase friction today? Question 2. Did I remove today's films reliably at night without damaging the surface? Question 3. Did I keep the system calm enough that I didn't feel compelled to manually interfere? If you can answer these questions honestly, you can steer your prevention without obsessing over every